Hey everyone, welcome back to On a Water Break, a podcast where we talk about everything you and your friends are talking about at rehearsal on a water break. This week's episode is live on YouTube right now. Hopefully you guys are joining us. But if you are getting the rebroadcast later, either way, we have a great show lined up for you. We'll find out what made Nicole say,
my friend, I didn't even expect the backhand to actually happen. Actually, I didn't expect a turnaround to happen. And I was like, ooh. And then, yeah, it was good.
And we'll find out why Steven said,
for the finale that I was a part of, it was really like cross-sectional. We had some drum lines, some cheerleaders, Dylan doing color guard, drag queens, live DJ. It was like a real like Marvel's Avenger crossover event at the end of the weekend.
All this and more on this week's episode of On a Water Break.
Take off the mat and go. Welcome to On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk everything marching arts. Everyone, bring it in. It's time for a water break.
Hey everybody, it's Jackie. We have a great episode this week and we are going to twirl. If you have questions or if you want to be a part of the broadcast, please feel free to reach out. Of course, you can leave a comment because we're live and we could pull up your comments and maybe you could get a little shout out. Who knows? Make sure that before we see who's on the sidelines this week, you go and subscribe to our pod on your favorite listening app. Write us a review. I'm going to be reading some of those reviews, which I'm super excited to do. I've been waiting for this for years, literally years. Make sure you share this episode with a friend. And if you've got a question or a good topic to talk about, make sure you email us at onawaterbreakpodcast@gmail.com. Find us on social media and DM us if you want to be on the show. We even have a form to fill out, so you can fill it out with all your information and we can bring you on as a guest. Check all that out at our link in bio. I also want to highlight that we now have a Facebook group. It's called On a Water Break Chatter. So if you just feel like
lost you, Jackie,
chatting with us and starting some conversation, spilling some tea. Before we see who's on the sideline this week, make sure you go and subscribe on your favorite listening app. Write us a review. Share this with a friend. If you got a question or a good topic to talk about us, email us at onawaterbreakpodcast@gmail.com, or you can find us on social media. You can DM us if you want to be on the show. We have a form you can fill out. Just send that in, and we will have you on as a guest. Check all that out at our link in bio. We also now have a Facebook group. It's called On a Water Break Chatter. You can come and chill with us, spill the tea, sip some tea, and just have a nice little conversation about the marching arts. So let's see who's on the sidelines this week. Nicole, hello. It's lovely to see you again. I love our monthly meetings.
And you know what? The whole time I was talking, let's go back. I'm sorry. I don't want to make this be longer than it actually is. I was actually talking about how, I feel so brand new because I was on mute when I was like, oh, what made Nicole say? And I was like, whatever. Well, you understand. I'm not brand new, but yep, exactly. Gongs and all. But what I was gonna say is I just finished the first leg of tour for myself. And we were in the desert in Arizona. Why? Yep. I don't know. Because they're from Arizona. Yeah. Because they're from Arizona. Yeah. We out here. Anyway.
Is it hot?
But that's it. Yeah.
I feel like it might be.
Dude, when I left, it was 102. It was 102. I said, get me out of her.
I made the decision to not go outside this morning because it was 81. And I was like, 81, that's a little too warm for me.
And it's not even that right now. It's like literally it was chilly outside when I went outside just a second ago because I was going to do this from my porch. My body doesn't know what's going on right now, but it's weathering outside.
Steven, how are you?
Doing good. Been busy. Been doing stuff with Jeremy and with Dylan as well. And just on that weekend band grind. Work all week, work all weekend. Never stop working. Just keep on teaching and working. So, but I've got 1 hour here. So it's a great little opportunity to hang out with you guys. Always look forward to it.
I'm so glad you're here too. I love that we've sort of got this whole monthly live show meetup with us now, because this is so nice to catch up with you guys and see what you're up to.
Like a little reunion.
Yeah. We also have Jeremy from Drum Corps today. Hey, Jeremy.
Hey, it's so great to be back. I'm just so excited. Like, Drum Corps season is just around the corner, and I'm just so excited. I can't wait for it to start. I thought I was muted for a second there.
You're all good. I am always excited to see you, and like, seriously, I'm ready. I'm ready for my social media to turn that corner and just be like nothing but Drum Corps.
Oh yeah, we're starting to get there. I'm seeing a lot. Corps are posting their videos of rehearsals and what they're doing, getting ready for tour, and just cannot wait.
Also joining us, fresh off from being elected to the WGI Steering Committee, it's our Canadian sister, Cynthia Bernard.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Right now, I'm about really numb because there's a lot of wins happening for me. If you know, for the past 2 years, like it's just so. Yeah, I cannot complain, and I would say that I don't feel pressure, but I feel a lot of motivation to represent and balance the balance at the steering committee. So yeah.
You're blowing up, girl.
It could be a whole episode on how this happened. Cause let me tell you, I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it was going to happen. A lot of things and at the steering committee was different this year, and maybe my perspective was different also. And let's say that I was supported by people that don't talk. Usually, I guess it's how I got elected, and I had one of this moment where I wrote my speech about 1,000,005 times, thinking like, because for people who didn't know, the people that were running up are the gods of this activity, and me, and which is completely okay and fair, and I respect all that. But I got in front of them and I talked like I never talked before. This Cynthia that was there never existed before, which I guess worked. So
yeah, you're representing. That's awesome. Well, Cynthia, we will get back to you and all things about the WGI Advisory Board meeting in just a moment. But we do have one more host on the live this week. Usually it's just the main host, but since he has just performed in one of the most prestigious buildings in the U.S., nailing a 2-turn backhand performed with a drag queen, and even alongside Steven just about a week ago, they were in DC doing this on a stage, and it's Pride Month, so let's welcome one of our newest hosts, Dylan Watson. Hey, how are you, Dylan?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Good. I'm so excited to get to talk to you. So how did you get into this like Pride performance situation? I've seen the videos and I was just like, wait, what is this? All the questions.
Good.
Well, I was just asked if I wanted to come out and perform at Philly Pride by Jeremy, and I thought, why not? It'd be a new experience, new opportunities. Why not expose the activity to other different types of audiences?
Definitely got exposed.
I love that.
Yeah, I was watching the video. Actually, I'm not gonna lie, I watched the video like 3 times because like all the stairs that you have to be on and you're spinning. I don't know when you add stairs for me anyway, I'm not everybody, but when you add stairs to performing, like there's a lot of mishaps that could happen, and you did not disappoint, my friend. I didn't even expect the backhand to actually happen. Actually, I didn't expect a turnaround to happen, and I was like, ooh, and then it was good. I would have hollered for you.
It was cool. It was for a big crowd too. I was only there for one of the performances. Dylan, I think you were involved in more than just the finale that I was involved in, right?
Yeah, it was in the museum performance. We had 2 different ones. We had an opening number and a finale number. And then we had the festival finale number for Sunday as well.
Yeah, there were a lot of people. It was like a huge city event. Multiple blocks shut down in the neighborhood area in Philly.
The neighborhood, I love
and
that.
Yeah, no, that's the real name. It's not even like that's what those blocks are. It's great. It was a really cool event. For the finale that I was a part of, it was really like cross-sectional. We had some drum lines, some cheerleaders, Dylan doing color guard, drag queens, live DJ. It was like a real like Marvel's Avenger crossover event at the end of the weekend. But it was cool. I don't know about you, Dylan. I was actually kind of really stressed a little bit coming into the event.
I very much was.
Yeah. But I was really happy with how it turned out.
There were so many like moving parts, and imagine like if you're blindfolded trying to put a puzzle together, but your hands are also tied behind your back. That's how it felt.
Yeah, but everyone was a good professional.
And then you're on a set of stairs. Yeah, like Nicole saying.
Just do it live.
I was like, it was cheerleaders, a drag queen, a live DJ, and then us that we had to like assemble all the parts together.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think little bits and pieces of this got the opportunity to rehearse, but definitely the full shebang of everyone all at once was just a do it live and see how it goes type of moment. So it went pretty well. I enjoyed it. Jeremy's shaking his head.
I was going to ask, like, how many rehearsals did you get?
One.
I wasn't even there for that.
Yes, we got one dress rehearsal, and I was like, oh dear God, here we go. After that dress rehearsal, but then like it was because the only person that I had interacted with prior to that was the other weapon that was with me. His name is Jake.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But the other three I met that day and was like, you're doing all this. You're going to go up and down these stairs on this part. You're going to do this part right here. So we're in a park like at like 10 a.m. that day, and we don't have our dress rehearsal till like 4 p.m. And then the show started at like 8 something. But I was like, okay, here's all the work. Here's what we're doing. Good luck. And also with the like not even all the parts were there for the dress rehearsal as well. So it was like, here we go. So it was a little bit of improv with a little bit of planning.
Yeah, it's like you didn't even get to learn it ahead of time, like on video or anything.
There were a couple parts I had recorded just so that way they had it. Because I was like, okay, at least you're going to do this here and this here. And I was like, okay, remember that video? That's going to go right there. Remember that video? That's going to go right here. Because in the opening, there were 3 songs. So it was like, you had like, for example, the beginning of it was like Forever Young. And then it went into Time After Time. And it was like each thing kind of like bled into another one. But a lot of the pop songs also had like 4/16 of remixes. And I was like, so not only did you have the song, you had like an extension of a remix to it. So it's like, well, what do we do for there? Okay, that's 4/16. Okay, let's throw somebody out there. Okay, do that right there.
Steven, so did you have the same thing going on? Like,
more or less. It was a different set, so it was different songs, but there were 3 songs in our set, and it was all EDM remixes. So I had an MP3 that I knew I was like arranging to. Mm-hmm. So I ended up just taking like a lot of different grooves and stuff that me and my friends would know from Eagles Drumline, and then kind of chopping it together over it. I didn't like write out any specific new music because I thought that would be a nightmare. That would then mean we have to rehearse. But yeah. I could take things that we already knew how to like cut together and sort of have like an outline of what we knew we needed to do. But still was super stressed about it. I was sitting there with a pad and sticks behind backstage at the festival, still hacking things out, probably like an hour before. But it was good and it went well. And it was proof of concept. Now we know we can do like drums and color guard and other things like that and
drag queens,
a non-traditional, and drag queens. All these things go together,
and cheerleaders, all the things.
And they don't have to be in a band setting. You can do it gen audience as long as you like arrange it right and you have the right people.
That's so fantastic. Dylan is going to have to get going here soon, so we're going to thank him so much for coming to our rehearsal today, and we will watch for your...
It's like, thanks for having me.
For your upcoming productions. Can we follow you on social media anywhere?
Yeah, my Instagram is going to be that_dude_Dylan18. I made it when I was in high school, so I just kept it. And then my Facebook is just Dylan Michael Watson. It's a picture of me holding the trophy that night at WGI.
All right, well, get back out on the stage because we got to rehearse our new Pride performance. We'll see you in just a minute.
Celebrating its 25th anniversary, Guard Closet was founded as a consignment shop in 2000. Since then, it has grown to become your one-stop shop for the marching arts.
Do you need consignment uniforms and flags for your color guard, marching band, or drumline? We have thousands of sets of consignments in stock and ready to ship.
Do you need show design and custom choreography? Our designers have years of experience in the marching arts.
Do you need to sell your items and clear out your storage areas? We take in more than 600 sets of consignments each year and return hundreds of thousands of dollars to our consigners for their sales.
Do you need to have your students order shoes, gloves, and other equipment? We can set up a microsite for easy student ordering of a wide variety of items.
Do you need custom costumes or flags? We can help get you great designs from our team through top vendors like Show Day Designs.
Have you listened to our podcast On a Water Break? Weekly episodes and bonus content keep you entertained and informed with what's going on in the marching arts.
For over 25 years, Guard Closet has been here to help. Check us out at guardcloset.com or follow us on social media.
Ooh, we are back. Aren't these theater seats much more comfy than sitting on a gym floor? Let's see what's happening in the news this week. I want to jump right in with this because it's such a hot topic. Cynthia, let's talk advisory board for WGI.
Yeah. What do you want to know?
Tell me about it. Everything. Tell me everything.
Oh my God. It's great. First of all, the thing that I want to get out there, and I think I keep on repeating it, but anyone can attend to the advisory board meeting. And so if you want to come, I mean, it's not cheap. I'm like, this morning I was like, let's find a way we could put out there, like, how could you go for free? Like, get a credit card and get points. Get like it's in Vegas. There's some anyways, but if you want your word to get out there, to get there live is probably one of the best things. So we started on Friday with the A-class and open class caucus, where it's just a little bit more low key. We have just people that anyone that want to say, but there's a little less people, so it's less stressful to be of a setting. So we got there, we did that. We had great discussions about things that we knew wouldn't necessarily pass. Like there was a discussion about regional A and the 7140, 61, and all those, that math doesn't add up. 7130, 6140. So discussions were really interesting that night. Just as for like brainstorming and going around the vibe of what, how things feel. And then Saturday was packed. The day was completely packed because there were so many proposals. And that's also one of the things that is interesting. Last year at Vegas, we had so little proposals. So we could go dig deeper. We could workshop with the steering committee. This time it was packed. There was so much to talk about. Oh, and on Friday night, we have the full advisory board meeting, but it's more for see what rules can be second to be talked on this Saturday. So all that happened. If you have any questions, there's like it became like a blur because I was representative of Third Legend, which was really funny. There were 6 of us, so we were like a crew of Canadians, and not just Canadians, Americans, but Third Legends. but I was not. One of the director, Vincent Tybert, was the voter. So I was very much in my head, like, and me is not that important, but I very much in my head about like my speech and what I wanted to do, and I really wanted to be elected this time because although people would say like you just need to try again, to be on a staff list that is on the advisory board is not that easy. And for people that have been finals in world class for years, they assume it's not the right word, but they just are. And when you're not one of those person, and I know I'm successful and it's hard for me to say those words, but still, so I really felt the urgency to make it happen, if it makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, so now I'm on it. And the other thing I can say is that if you have any questions or any concerns or any feelings or anything in regard of WGI, the sheets, the values, the competitions, and you don't know where to address, you can always write to Dale and Carl Lowe and Curtis in some instances of, but I understand that they're like even gods of gods. So the steering committee is there for that. And we will either address it around the table or we will go back to you or both. And I guess that's the one major thing that I want to be. I want to be accessible. And I actually plan to go to people to get the feelings of the fields. Yeah.
I just want to say first, before we do go on to anything else, like congratulations, you're doing this both with Rick Subel.
Yeah.
Doing this both with Rick Subel and Andy Toth, and I honestly am congratulating you, not just for you getting on there, but honestly having that Canadian representation, because I don't think we just haven't really seen it. You know,
I think I'm the first international representative, and we're trying to go back and see if it was ever happened before. And and I don't have a hard time, but I will always say like I'm Canadian, but I cannot be like representing the planet is hard. But yeah. But yeah, I think I am, and we are sitting with Becca Anderson and why am I forgetting? And Michael Shapiro. What am I doing? Who are on their second year of their term.
Nice. So I know there are some things that we would want to go over on this, like some things that got passed. We don't have to hit them all, but like, can you maybe go over one of them that was like a huge topic that got a lot of discussion that got passed?
Yeah. Do you have any questions, or you want to?
Just want to talk about it really quick. Just sum it up.
I want to know about the age limit. That's my thing. Like I want to know about that.
Okay. Well, the one thing that is interesting is that we didn't really have a lot of time to talk about the proposals because it was really jam-packed. And I think there's some proposals that actually didn't pass that should be either rephrased or reintroduced. No, that's not the right. Anyway,
reconsidered.
So reconsidered, amended, and that's another thing that people should know. If you propose a rule and you're not there physically, you have to find a way to communicate to Dale or any of us to say, I will be available to pick up the phone and amend things. Because if the writer of the rule is not there to amend, we cannot really do anything with it, right? But that didn't happen, but I'm just putting out there. But yeah, there's rules that were amended that didn't pass that I think would be interesting to re-see in other years in different form. Like, can anyone apply on the steering committee? Can steering committee have only 3 consecutive, what are the words, terms, and then take a term off? Even the like I said, the regional A thing could be interesting to go over. There's a thing about school district and combined groups that needs to be go over and then didn't pass. The ones that passed that were really interesting is, I'll talk about the age thing, but the cover props, like the rain situation, trying to, and there was a lot of about discussion about this, about like member safety and like just a sheer, it's especially at UD where you need to go from the arena to the warm-up tent. And if it rains over you. And so we had discussions about this. It passed, but in the end, all of those needs to go to the board of directors and they can see what is possible, because there's things that are just maybe not possible, either money-wise or logistically wise. The overage 25 limit in open class was actually not a very long discussion. It just went through. It was just, I think it was time. I think we live in capsules of time, and it may go back. But this capsule of time just made it happen. It was just made to be.
Nice. All right. So there's a possibility of that, somebody, bringing that up again, like in a year or two, to bring the limit down or something like that.
Yeah. And to be real, limit age, and either from the international point of view, or either from it's every year there's some version of discussion around that topic. We have had, there's one thing that I think is really important. Dr. Will is doing a amazing job. He is the highlight of yet again this year's Vegas. And there's right now more talk about having a 14-year-old in a world-class gym where the average age is maybe 21, 22. And what does that mean logistically wise? What does that mean mental health wise for the kid? What does it mean? There's a lot of talk about this. This is very much more where we're going right now. We even had a big table around after all that meeting discussion about categories being 18 plus, categories being 18 under. And I don't want everyone to freak out. It's just talk. But I guess right now it's really more what we're focusing on than is having 25-year-olds in an open class will make a super group that will tear the world apart with greatness and excellence. You know what I mean? It's really more about safety and age gaps and difference, and what organizations do and the guidelines that have to be around those things. Having minors, or 14-year-old is not just minor, it's young. And yeah.
Right. Those are such important discussions to have. I'm so glad that they're having them at this level.
Yeah. Yeah, I stop on talking because I can talk on and on and on about all those things. But I'm shorting myself. And let's be real. I'm very numb about what's happening. But the one last thing I think that is important to know is that the steering committee will meet in person on July 16th. So, and we will have a roundtable and meetings, and that will for sure have an influence with the season upcoming. So if you have things on your heart, don't wait for the first regional to happen for us to have some information. Give us the feedback right now, because everything that we will talk on July during those days will influence the next season, on top of the rest of the jobs that we have, reviewing, the reviews and all those things.
So that can just come in as an email and just be this is a concern I have.
Yeah, technically we have a WGI email, but I was elected 48 hours ago? I don't know. So I personally don't have one. But you can reach to it's Becca at WGI.com or org, I guess, and those are just our first names, and or else you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook. I've had a lot of friend requests, and I'm happy to have more friends. And you can find me through my website also, colorguardoptimization.com, and you can write to me. Just write if you want to, the group you're coming from, just so I picture you and know a little bit, and let's chat.
Are you also in the new On a Water Break group on Facebook?
Yes, I am on the, yeah.
There we go. We can have some discussions there too.
Yeah.
Stephen, do you have any updates on the percussion side of WGI World?
Yeah, I was just taking a look. There's nothing too salacious or spicy here, but there are a couple things that passed. One, it looks like they're going to rent or purchase acoustic carpet panels for the UD Arena. They used them at SCPA finals, I think this year it says, and they liked it. They felt like it made it a better sound environment. So they want to start doing that in the UD Arena, and that was a pretty unanimous, mostly pass there. They also made a logistical change. This one's not even that exciting. They can talk about rule changes during the season now instead of having to wait for the next advisory board meeting. And they also reduced the timing penalty from 0.5 points per second to 0.3 points per second. So for those of you that like to get really meta about band, I guess that would be interesting. And then this one, okay, this is probably the last two are maybe the more spicy ones. One of them kind of relates to a What Are We Doing that I gave recently about the strobe lights at the arena.
Yes.
Now it is required that you put a warning if you're going to have strobe lights. So if you're going to use strobe lights, it's now a WGI rule. You need to have a warning. I think that's for the best. I also think maybe we should just not like there are other ways to get points. I don't think a strobe light should make or break your WGI show. And then maybe the most interesting one related to finals this year. They passed the rule says groups may not begin an audible pre-show until after the previous group's interval time has concluded. So to me, this kind of sounds a little bit in response to RCC having a whole big crazy like pre-show, which it was really cool. I liked it. Thought it really added to the air of their performance, but a lot of the language of the rule change here says that like it's not really fair to the group that is performing and getting off the floor for you to come in and start with a whole audible pre-show and kind of like steamroll a little bit over their slot. I think that like RCC wasn't exactly steamrolling over the slot either. But I get it. It's kind of trying to be in like the sportsmanship lane and say like, let's just not try to like acknowledge the group before you in your pre-show and come out and like look like you're scaring them away.
Also, you have a allotted amount of time. You know what I mean?
And that's what it specifically works around. Is there like you just cannot until your allotted amount of time begins. You can't have any audible sound of any kind. That's what gets specified here.
I love it. I think
that's really it. So there's nothing too groundbreaking on the percussion side of things.
Okay. Let's dive into drum corps with Jeremy. We have a lot of show announcements and things coming out, right?
I mean, yes and no. As much as I hate to say it, we're 2 weeks away from the first show of the season, and we've got almost 60% of the corps have announced their show so far. Like we're at a point where so many corps haven't announced their shows yet. Like I know Blue Coat started doing that, and then they won last year, and everyone's like, "Ooh, let's just copy and paste whatever they did, and maybe we'll get boosted or whatever." But a little annoying. However, we do have a lot. Sorry, were you going to say something?
No, people are just I feel like a lot of people are being secretive. Like, let's hold off until the very last minute.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And it's wild because I feel like a lot of shows or competitions this season are later starting than they usually are. Like, I feel like we've lost a week at the beginning of tour. And then finals it's not necessarily early, but I want to say like the 9th of August, which does feel a little bit earlier than it's been recently, at least.
Finals used to be on my birthday for a long time, like when I was marching. My birthday's August 14th. So.
Okay, so I was thinking the same thing. That would be like a week later. I feel like it's a whole week earlier.
Right.
And there's not a lot of shows going on between Allentown and finals. I was looking at that on the schedule, and it's like Allentown happens, then there's maybe one show in Western PA and a show in, I think, Canton, or maybe Massillon. But after that, that's it.
Yeah, that's wild, because usually we'll have a few shows like between Allentown and our inside championships to finish up our outside shows, but not so much this year. And I was looking, I was checking out when cadets had it was a year anniversary of them folding. We were looking through stuff, and they had 30 something shows, like competitions in one season. And that's far more than even the top world-class corps have this year. And the past couple of years, really, it's kind of wild.
Yeah, we had 28 when I was at Blue Stars.
Well,
yeah, Same when I was there too. Anyway, I've gotten a little off topic. Back on track. We're talking about drum corps shows. This morning, a few hours before this podcast started, actually, the Hurricanes, the DCA Corps, announced that their show is the Black Parade, which is, I think they're talking about theming it around the Four Horses of the Apocalypse, which that certainly seems like an interesting concept. I'm curious to see how that plays out. And then I want to see the
I was just about to just leak the whole Bushwhacker show right now. Be like, oh, well, we're doing. It's like,
you know,
might not be
I don't
my
think
news
that,
to
I
share.
think we'll be okay. Go ahead and tell us. That'd be great.
We're doing a Bushwhacker show.
Gotta leak it. Hold on. No.
No.
Yeah,
I will say this about Bush real quick. I think that we're doing some really forward stuff for all age. I think that it's a good step forward from what Bushwhackers usually puts together. So you guys should be excited to see it in Indy this year.
That sounds exciting to hear. It definitely seems like last year was the first year transitioning from DCA to DCI All Age, and it definitely felt like their shows had a little bit more of a shift from the, I guess, traditional DCA style, kind of fitting more with the DCI style. And it'll certainly be interesting to see moving forward how they continue that trend, how they integrate the old traditions of DCA, which a lot of DCA corps started before the DCI corps. That's just, it's been around a lot longer.
Yeah, and they oftentimes were just doing an older style show.
Exactly.
But
a lot of times, all age, DCI tends to be the junior corps, the younger performers. All age tends to be a little bit older. They're more of the traditional styles, the styles in the 70s and 80s of DCI, really.
Yeah. But
anyway, I don't know. I think it was either yesterday or 2 days ago, we got two show announcements. River City Rhythm is doing Winds of Change, and Pacific Crest is doing It's Sin Our Nature, which kind of a fun play on words. I enjoy when saying that out loud, because it's like it's sin, our nature. It sounds like it's in, but it space sin. It's I want to say they're taking concepts from the Old Testament, like Genesis, talking about the fruit of knowledge and that original sin, which it'll be interesting. Pacific Crest has really been on this uphill, like they've been getting better and better every year, and the past couple of years they've been right on that edge for finals. So it'll be interesting to see if this is their year that they crack into finals.
That end of the pack, man. That's the dogfight. Yeah. That is the dogfight.
For sure.
Could also be like a seven deadly sins sort of thing.
Yeah, that could be cool. That would definitely fit with that theme.
Have the Troopers released their show?
The Troopers were, in fact, the very first corps to announce their show. I want to say it was the Sunday after finals last year.
It was the morning after. I think we're about to announce the next trilogy for like yeah, but like, let me say that. And I too, Steven, I'm the type of like, blah, 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 and like, but today will be my first day with the babies. Which I'm so happy to see them. But I saw the run-throughs, of course, because I'm a geek, so I will be a geek of my core. And I really think you will recognize the Troopers, and we're closing the chapter of the whatever it is trilogy or how many books Tim wrote about the sunset, sunrise, the sun. But it is going to be it's going to be a little different. You will recognize Troopers, but you will recognize a little bit of a new direction that they want to go in, which, yeah, I know it's like a lot of words that don't really mean anything until you'll see it, but you'll understand what you see. It's really cool. I think it's really fun.
It's very esoteric of you to say that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, that's cool. It's totally fine.
Yeah, let's just say we don't have a devil this year. It's not
okay.
like
You know what? I was like, what else can you do? You already killed the devil. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah, no, but Tim, that's the thing with a lot of designers and creators, right? You're like, but what can you do next? Like you've did General Hospital, like you've went like for this and this and this and that. Then there's a jumelle, there's a triplet, and but he really has a way of bringing new chapters that you never thought of and still make sense. You know what I mean? Like it's still so yeah, it's gonna be cool.
I mean, with the troopers, they always have the same like concept. If you like, it's the troopers. They're the Wild West, but every single time it's some different twist on that same concept, and it's always cool to see what they pull out.
Yeah, I just want to see slow walking drum major. My favorite part. Not during the show.
Cynthia is going to have to get back to her first rehearsal, and we need to get to our Peak Group Travel Tip of the Week, brought to you by our sponsors at Peak Group Travel, helping you navigate your next adventure, whether it's across the country or just to your next competition.
Hi, everyone. It's time for your Travel Tip of the Week with me. I'm Beth with Peak Group Travel. Performance tours are a great way to showcase your ensemble in new cities and for new audiences. But be sure to also include local attractions and sightseeing tours or cruises to give your group a full cultural experience while they're on the road. Don't forget to like and follow Peak Group Travel on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And be sure to email info@peakgrouptravel.com when you're ready to start planning your next performance tour. This is your Travel Tip of the Week with me, Beth, from Peak Group Travel. Ready to elevate your travel game? Welcome to Peak Group Travel, the ultimate adventure creators. Whether you're planning an unforgettable class trip, a once-in-a-lifetime parade experience for your marching band, or a choir tour full of memorable performance venues, Peak Group Travel handles it all, so you can focus on making memories. From breathtaking international destinations to amazing adventures right here at home, Peak Group Travel customizes every journey to your vision. We're not just planners, we're your partners for the trip you want for your students. Our online registration portal makes managing your pre-trip experience smooth and convenient. We even collect your payments if you'd like. Picture it, effortless planning, unmatched experiences, and smiles that last long after the journey ends. That's the Peak Group Travel difference. And if you choose to partner with Peak on your next tour, and you mention that you heard about us on the On a Water Break podcast, you'll earn a $100 trip credit. Discover why groups everywhere trust Peak Group Travel. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and be sure to visit peakgrouptravel.com today. You pick the date, and we'll make it great.
All right, bring the house lights back up once again. Let us preview some of the amazing episodes and bonus content that we have going on the previous couple weeks, the next couple weeks, everything that's happening. Actually, this one was Nicole. You had an episode recently about scamming.
Yeah. You actually brought it up to me, but then I reached out and, got that together. But actually, Christine and I were on and did this with Rose Crow and Erica Owens about online equipment scammers, because it seemed to be something that's going rampant, and honestly it keeps going. So we gave some quick tips on how you can safeguard yourself, and also some band boosters too, because most of the time it's band boosters that's buying the equipment. So check that out. Yeah,
and we have Christine here with us. Hey Christine, how's it going at the warehouse?
Hey guys, it's going well. We're really cranking here. We're like in full steam operation, so to speak. So, you can see, there they are, all those tons and tons of boxes. Just wait. They're waiting for new shows, And we got a ton of stuff. The Spartans drove 8 hours down here to Pennsylvania to drop off a whole bunch of stuff last week. Yep, so we're cranking through all of that, which is really exciting. We got a lot of stuff recently, too, from the Hardin Valley Academy in Tennessee. And, just working through some other things, too, for some local consigners and stuff like that as well. Downingtown East also dropped off recently. So there's a lot happening. So watch social media for, stuff and things that'll be popping up.
Right. I just released my episode with the new DCI correspondents for the 2025 season. All those students are receiving a scholarship that goes toward either their tour fees or whatever their their tour expenses are, their DCI expenses. So we are sending that to them. You will be seeing more content from them. In fact, I just posted the first video this morning on our social media. So that's for that. I was super proud of myself for figuring out how to use Meta Business Suite to get that all set up. And now I just have to go in and get the rest of them set up. And then last week's episode, we had our new host, Jacob Klein. So make sure you head back and listen to that if you haven't met him yet. And I wanted to talk about a follow-up really quick to Twirl. Twirl made the #1 bestseller on one of the Amazon lists. We talked about that. That's a novelization about color guard. And we talked to the author a few weeks ago. So make sure you go check that out. That was really, really cool to see that getting such great recognition. So I think we need to do, what are we doing? It's time for that.
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
So this is the part of the show where we let loose a little bit, or maybe a lot. This is your chance to rant about something in the marching arts that just doesn't make sense. Maybe it's a tradition that needs to go. Maybe it's a habit that performers can't seem to break. Maybe it's something that makes you think, why are we even doing this? Or why haven't we started doing this yet? Whatever it is, this is your moment to call it out. So who's got something they need to get off their chest? Nicole, do you want to start us off?
Yes, actually. Well, first, I guess I could say, what are we doing? I mean, because we're in that transitional part of our seasons. What are we doing not getting our stuff to consignment? Like, really? I have been in I don't want to say tons, but a number of guard closets, like actual programs, guard closets and warehouses lately. And it's like, your stuff's collecting dust. Why?
Mm-hmm.
You know, these uniforms can live again. And some of them haven't even lived the first time, if you know what I mean. Like, you get too many. So, you know, get them out there. There's programs that are smaller that could use that, you know, continuity as far as like a color guard uniform and a band uniform together to make a great show for them. And honestly, too, now that I've said that, you know, groups that can't really afford brand new from, you know, custom, why don't you, you know, start going over to the guard closet consignment side of things and, you know, taking a look at what we have, because we can definitely outfit. And Christine, I know I'm stealing your thunder. I'm so sorry. But there's just so many. It's just like, why are you're working? It feels like you're working harder, not smarter. Yep. So do it.
That's exactly right. Christine, what are we doing?
Well, since Nicole stole my thunder, haha. No, I thought of a different one, which is really good, though. Good. I see from time to time online people talking, and Jackie, I bet you can chime in on this because you're going to be really helpful with this one, too. But I see people from time to time talking online about what shoes their guard is going to get. And, you know, there's a lot of discussion about the durability of the shoes or the comfort of the shoes and all kinds of things like that. But then sometimes I get disappointed because I see, you know, some organizations talking about how they're going to go with just a regular sneaker or something like that, rather than some of the things that have been truly designed for, you know, performance outside, not just an athletic shoe. So yeah. I think that's another important thing to take a look at also, is making sure that your students are outfitted well. Yeah, Nicole talked about kind of like that final product, but what's underneath? What is going to make the performers feel comfortable? What is going to make them be able to perform at their best? So I think that's a what are we doing right now? Make sure that your performers have good shoes and good undergarments to perform their best.
Yes, please, good undergarments. But yeah, no consignment undergarments.
No consignment for that. No. The finished product part, yeah, definitely. But yeah, don't be buying. You know what? That's another one though. Don't buy used shoes. I mean, it's not a good idea. Right. It really isn't. Unless the shoes maybe have very gently been used. Maybe a student tried them on or something and they didn't fit and you have an extra pair. fine. But it's never a good idea to wear used shoes. Yeah, so good point on that.
So I know I was complaining about this before, but I'm just going to get back into it. What are we doing not announcing our shows? A, to the audience, but B, some corps haven't announced their shows to their membership yet. Like, it's June and the members don't know the name of their show. Like, yeah, I don't remember. I think... I don't remember which corps it was, but a couple days ago when a corps announced their show, the day before, they're like, oh, it's a teaser. We're showing our members the name of the show and stuff. It's just like, we knew that when I marched, we knew that back in like January, February, March, like the beginning of the year, not 6 months in. Like, I get there might be building, like,
knowing our shows.
Exactly. Like, I know it's wild that Troopers announced their show super early. That's, for members wanting to audition, that's going to be a big part of where they want to audition. If they see, oh, this show looks meh, they're not going to want to audition there. If they see a show that's like, wow, this is cool, you're going to have more people wanting to audition there just for the show. I mean, like, there's so much in the design world that we can work with the students, and a lot of times that bridge is never crossed. We're never really communicating properly at that level. So the membership has one idea of what's going on. The design team has a different idea of what's going on. It's just being able to connect those two.
Mm-hmm. That's actually the thing. Our producer, Jeremy, has mentioned that, like, that's what's going on with Broadway shows. Like, when you go to audition for a Broadway show, you audition for the show. You're not auditioning for the designers. You're not auditioning for the choreographers. You're not auditioning for the producers. You're auditioning for what show they're doing. So that's like, that seems like such an important part that's missing from drum corps. If they're holding off
and
their
sometimes even on Broadway, not only are you auditioning for the show, you're auditioning for a specific role. Like, you have an idea of which character you're going to be in the show, not even, oh, this is the general idea. Like, Broadway does a lot of things right. I mean, there's certainly room for them to improve in some aspects, but there's a lot that we could take from Broadway, from their incredible performers, to apply it to marching band, drum corps, DCI, WGI, you name it.
My What Are We Doing is aimed at Facebook Meta Business Suite, because it is the least intuitive program for putting up social media content. I could not find where to do closed captions. I couldn't find where to schedule it. Like, they're not on sensible pages with related options. Anyways, that's my What Are We Doing. Mark Zuckerberg, if you're listening to this, because I know you're a regular listener of our podcast, get it together, sweetie. We have a show to do.
And to add on to that, have people design the layouts and stuff. Don't just have a computer AI run through it. Like, that's going to come out so mediocre. Just have a real life, at least, like, if you want to do the AI, have a person at least check the work. Like, we're not able to copy it. Like, we're not the health secretary. You can't just copy and paste what ChatGPT says for a political release.
Let me tell you something. I have an almost 500-day streak.
Set your equipment down. Gush and go.
Sorry.
Dang.
I have an almost 500-day streak on Duolingo, and I'm leaving and I'm deleting my account because they're using AI the way they are now. They're firing people for it. Anyways. Let's gush and go. This is our time to shout out something awesome happening in our lives, marching arts related or not. Maybe you're excited about a performance, a student success, big life event, or just something cool you want to brag about. No negativity here. Just pure, unfiltered hype. So, who's got something to gush and go about? Let's just keep our order. Nicole, you want to start us off?
Yeah. It's not like, marching arts related, but it's self-care related. Because I, just got home. I got home really late on Saturday night from Arizona, from being on tour. And I just did laundry, I am literally gonna have a weekday lazy day, and I'm excited about it. My phone stays in another room. I'm watching TV. I'm excited. So yes, I'm gushing and going about being lazy and taking care of me.
Yeah, I love that. Christine, what do you want to gush and go about?
Well, I guess my gush and go is, just a quick reminder for everybody. In my real life, I'm a teacher. So summer has finally started. So that means I can kind of shift into my, summer activities, which of course is spending a lot of time in the guard closet warehouse. But, also having time for some other things. My mom and my daughter and I are going to take a trip to Kentucky later this week, and we're going to see some friends that we have not seen since I was probably 8 or 9 years old. So we're really looking forward to that. A little road trip together as a family. And, just some of those other things you get time for when you have time off from your regular job. I mean, perhaps even just reading a book for fun, which I often don't have time to do during the school year. So, looking forward to stuff like that. So, and, it won't be that much longer until it's time to watch some drum corps shows on Flow Marching and in person. So, I'm going to actually get to go to the Atlanta show this year, which is pretty fun. So we're going to combine a family vacation with a drum corps show, which is something we wanted to do for a long time. So yeah, good stuff.
Nice. All right, Jeremy, what do you want to gush and go about?
So I'm going to stick with the trend of doing off-topic stuff and not like marching related stuff. I've gotten into 3D printing recently, and it's kind of a cool hobby. And I'm starting on my first like big project.
That's awesome! Oh, it's not broken.
Yeah, I haven't finished. The mask isn't totally attached yet, but it's still pretty cool.
That's awesome. My toddler has a commission for you. We need to talk. My toddler who's obsessed with dress up right now.
It's still a work in progress, but
you may be an Infinity Gauntlet too.
That's so cool.
Well, the goal is the whole suit, so that'll take a while, but we'll see how that ends up going.
Wow!
So for our listeners who are not
the next
for our listeners who are not getting to watch this on video, Jeremy is showing off his incredible 3D printed Iron Man mask and an Infinity Gauntlet, which is, yeah, seriously, that's so cool.
Your fingers look broken.
Hey, it's always a hassle to like try to slide your fingers into each one.
Oh, because they come apart kind of as you go.
Yeah.
I see it.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome. Jeremy, I love it.
It's important to like, even if you've got your one thing that you're focused on, find something else to just every once in a while take a break from it, get your mind able to focus again. Because if you're giving 100% all the time, that can't be your 100%. You're always going to be giving a little bit less than that 100% if you're constantly at that level.
There you go.
It's true. Well, I want to gush and go about some of our incredible listeners who decided to go ahead and leave us a review or two on our podcast. So J.M. Wallace is the first one I'm going to read. So good to hear this. This person says they listen to a lot of podcasts and thank you. And they love our sound effects, especially the applause sound effect. So cool. Richard James Van Dole says, what a treat. I was a percussionist, so he never really instructed me, but he's a quality person. Talking about our Matt Harloff episode. Matt Harloff is an incredible person. Yeah. Like, seriously, A+ human being. And absolutely, I agree with you, Richard.
So it's so cool how often you're able to have him on the podcast. I mean, he's got so much information, so much knowledge to share, and it's every time it's so helpful.
And he's like on this other level. It's just so fantastic. Like, yeah, love it. And then he also goes on to say, anytime I get to hear from educators and performers from my old stomping grounds, I love it. That was on our WGI Wins episode from this year. And I am going to butcher some of these names. I will try my best not to. Abhi Saini says, let's go, with a bunch of fire emojis.
Yay, good.
That was on our Around the World Thailand episode. So we do have some people writing in some awesome reviews. Make sure you guys get over to your favorite podcast listening app and write us a review. I personally use Spotify, so that's where I've pulled these from. And but I do have access to some others too, so I will read some reviews. And like I said, I will give shout outs. I love doing that kind of thing. So thank you guys for a great rehearsal this week. Thank you to everyone who spent time with us today. Nicole, Christine, Jeremy, Cynthia, Stephen, Dylan. If you have a good question or a good topic to talk about, email us at onawaterbreakpodcast@gmail.com, or you can find us on social media. Send us a DM if you want to be on the show. We have a form you can fill out if you want to be a guest. We love having new people on the podcast all the time. And who knows, might get to meet Matt Harloff. Check out that link in bio on our social media. You could just take out your phone, make a little video, shoot it over to us. Maybe you'll see yourself on the podcast soon. And one more thing. Don't forget about number 1, our YouTube channel. Go subscribe. You can watch our podcasts there. Or don't forget to go to our new Facebook group, On a Water Break Chatter, and we can have all those amazing, engaging conversations. So make sure you subscribe, write us a review, share this with a friend. Follow us on our social media at On a Water Break, and we'll see you at the next rehearsal on a water break.
The On a Water Break podcast was produced by Jeremy Williams and Christine Reams. The intro and outro music was produced by Josh Lyda. To learn more, visit lydamusic.com. And until next time, thanks for tuning in.